What is going on YouTube? And as always, with every new car purchase that I do, I like to do a channel update and give you guys a tour on what I just bought. And this time, I'm back in another Ford Mustang. So I had to go through two Mitsubishis, which I both love them. They both have their quirks and stuff, but it just feels really good to be back in another Mustang. It's not a GT 500. I know the market's just too insane right now for those cars, even with higher mileage. Examples, people are wanting 30 grand or more, and I really wanted a 07, 09 GT 500. That's still to this day my favorite body style. I know everyone likes the 13, 14s, but I have a special place for the 07, 09 cars, and maybe that's just because my first Shelby was an 09. So this car popped up for sale, and it was way too good of a deal to pass up. As a matter of fact, the deal on this car reminded me of what these cars used to sell for before COVID came and went and screwed up the car market. So here it is. This is my 2012 Ford Mustang GT. Went from a GT 500 to a GT, which is not a bad thing. I mean, I still like this body style pretty good. This car is pretty low miles. I think it has 60,000 miles on it, but you know, it's definitely not a 5.4, 5.8 car. It's Gen 1 Coyote, which I've owned a Trap Pack 2014. If you guys are familiar with my channel and the previous cars, you guys would know that I do like the Coyote platform pretty good. I just prefer the GT 500s just for the simple sake you get that Shelby nameplate and the TR6060, which is like a major upgrade over the MT82. There's really no way around that. But this car, like I said, fairly low miles, super clean, and I got a really good deal on it, especially in this market. This is probably a pre-COVID deal that I got on this car, believe it or not, so I couldn't pass it up. Like I said, the Shelbys have just went up way too much right now, even higher mileage cars. And I was really wanting an 07, 09, but just way out of my budget. People are wanting 30 grand plus, even with 100,000 plus miles. So like I said, when this car popped up for sale, I had to snag it up. It's got a lot of good mods. This car is a Vortec V3. Has a McLeod RXT clutch, stainless steel clutch line. It's got a return style fuel system on it. It's E85 capable. I'm actually thinking about doing a flex fuel kit with it. And it's got DW95 fuel injectors. I think they're equivalent to 100 or 1000 cc. One thing I do want to do to it down the road is change the exhaust. I have a Magnaflow True X X-Pop. It looks like a muffler, but the inside of it's like a resonated X-Pop. The car is catless factory H-Pop with Roush mufflers. I think Roush Extreme or whatever they are super loud. They're not really even a muffler, but I'm hoping the Magnaflow True X will tame it down, because right now it's just extremely loud. It's just not for me. So if the Magnaflow True X doesn't help it, then I'm going to see if I can't find some stock mufflers maybe, or trade for like a Borla S-Type or touring muffler, something just to kind of quieten it down. And I have the kit on the way, but this car does not have Brembo brakes. So I have a set of 4-piston S550 brakes. They're not Brembos either, but they're a way better brake than these. I think these are just dual piston only, and the S550 brakes are a major upgrade, 4-piston. And I'm going with the Boss 302 15-inch rotors, and these are S550 PP1 wheels, so I know these will clear the 4-piston. So if you guys want to upgrade, just make sure that the wheels will clear the brake calipers. And I have some wheel spacers on the way because I can't stand the stance of this car, so I'm going to push out the rear end a little bit. And it's got 255s on it right now, but they definitely need to be replaced with like 285 at the very minimum. Nitto G2's my least favorite tire ever, but it seems like every Mustang I buy, I'm stuck with those tires. Not a big deal, but like I said, for what I gave for this car, I can afford to blow some money in some good tires and other modifications. Cosmetics, this car is really nice. I'm not the biggest fan of black cars, but this one is pretty nice. It's got a Boss 302 front end, and it's been paint matched, and I think that looks really good. And I've tried to keep the car as clean as possible. I've been driving it for the past couple days. It's got some smears and bugs and stuff on it, but overall rock chips and stuff are basically non-existent on this car. You might have one or two on the hood, but overall for a 2012 this car is pretty solid. Interior's in really good shape. It's got the red inserts in the seats and the door cards, which is really nice. Paint corrected it and ceramic coated it, and it looks really good right now. I mean, other than the fact that it's a little dirty from driving for the past couple of days. One thing I do like about black, when it's cleaned up, it looks really good, but they do show every imperfection. You can see my greasy paw prints on the door. I think I'm gonna buy the CDC side splitters, which I've always put on all my S197s, and I'm gonna do the rear splitters on the back bumper. And I have a set of the clear 1314 style taillights. I'm really excited to get those. I think they should be in Thursday. I think the taillights come in Thursday. The MagnaFlow True X comes in Thursday. And some other parts I've ordered for it too. Can't think of them off the top of my head, but I am excited to get all that together. Oh yeah, I bought some the taillight trim that's supposed to fill in the gap with the 1314 style taillights, because the bumpers are shaped different and these are actually bigger than the 1314, so you need a trim piece. I had all that show up. It actually came in before the taillights, go figure. Back to cosmetics. This is a paint matched GT500 spoiler. I like the way that looks a lot. Let's see, I'm gonna show you guys the interior some more. It's in really good shape. Doesn't have navigation, it's just the factory Shaker 500. Oh, we have a Cervini cow hood. It's been paint matched. But I guess I'll go ahead and show you guys the engine bay. Sorry about all the background noise. I usually try to pick the spot because it's pretty laid back, but I don't know, there's a lot of traffic today. Anyways, here's the Vortec V3 SI. I think this head unit is only a year old. Well, basically all the mods on this car are about a year old. LI tuning, fuel return system. We have a Motion Raceworks vented oil catch can, and of course with the McLeod RXT we have the stainless steel clutch line. I did not get the tubing for the Pro Charger, or I mean the Vortec that goes across into the factory air box. They just put this turbo guard on it, so I would like to eventually find that tubing, go back with some type of cold air intake, because I'm not a big fan of these. As you can see, stuff builds up on it, and small debris can actually still get through here, and it's straight into those turbines, and then eventually straight into the engine. Another thing I'm going to do is replace this factory coolant tank. I have a Canton aluminum tank on the way because these are notorious for the seams. As you can see, it's a really bad design, and these tanks are very prone to expanding, and once they expand, these seams let loose and then you lose coolant. So that's on the way. That's a major upgrade for anyone with a Vortec or a Paxton. And another upgrade I want to do eventually is replace that Max Flow race blow-off valve with something else. I'm not sure what I want to do yet, but apparently those aren't that good. It's got a one-piece aluminum drop shaft, and I think MMR billet oil pump gears and crank sprocket. I have some paperwork that came with the car. It has a dyno sheet and stuff too. I think this car made 605 to the wheels on a Mustang dyno, and I think this is the factory pulley, so I think that's 7.5 to 8 psi is what that's rated for. The torque is really low on these superchargers for some reason. I can't remember what the torque was, but I'll update the video and let you guys know. I'll pull out the dyno sheet and look at it again. But factory exhaust manifolds, I think that's about as far as it goes with the engine. I mean, it's just got your basic bolt-ons for the most part. It's relatively clean under the hood. Like I said, this is going to be replaced. I'm going to have aluminum. I may paint it black. Underneath the car, I'm going to crawl underneath here, show you guys the suspension. It's got I bought Sportline springs, I believe, and Coyote orange shocks. Got the BMR suspension package, lower control arms, panhard bar, sway bar. It's got the Ford Racing Performance end links. I don't know if you guys can see the drive shaft. I believe it's a Ford Racing drive shaft. I doubt you guys can't see it. But here's the Roush exhaust. Super loud. So it's got good suspension mods on it. It's just I need the brakes to be upgraded. Hopefully here soon I'll have that on. And cosmetics, like I said, 13-14 tail lights are on the way, side splitters, and then the rear bumper splitters. I may redo these fog lights. It's got some type of, I don't know if it's spray tint. I think it's a spray tint. It just looks really bad. I think I'm gonna go back with LEDs. The headlights have a wrap on them, like a tint wrap. I may peel those off and go with the American Muscles plastic overlays. They just kind of snap over top of the factory headlights and you close the hood on top of them. I actually had those on my 2014 Trap Pack car. They look pretty good. The intercooler has been painted black. Let me know what you guys think. I'm actually thinking about repainting it silver because I do want that little additional look of an intercooler, so that way people can look in the mirror and see that sticking out and know, hey, the car's pro charged. Or I don't know, should I just leave it the stealthy look? The car is super loud, so there's really no stealth to it, so I figured why not. And I tell everyone this car has an Evo mod because the Evo 9s have little circular holes where the fog lights on this bumper is supposed to be. The Evos have something almost just like this in the center supports to the front bumper, and the holes actually cool off the intercooler piping. And ironically, these fog lights on the Boss 302 bumper act just like those vents to the intercooler piping, so it's almost like I've done an Evo mod. I'm gonna start telling people that. It's got the Evo mod on the front end for the intercooler piping. I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, that's pretty much the rundown of the car. It's pretty solid all the way around. It shifts great. When I test drove it, I made sure there was no lockouts because I recently drove a 2013 Boss 302 and it was stock other than long tube headers, and apparently had a brand new MT82 in it. I think he said it had less than 7,000 miles, but it locked me out of every gear. High RPM shifts, it just would not do it. So I walked away from that car and I was getting disheartened because the Boss didn't work out, and I've always wanted a Boss. and that one's just way too rough. And all the others that I find, it just seems like people, they're not extremely interested in letting their car go. They entertain the idea, then they just kind of back out. So that car fell through, and this car popped up for sale on Marketplace. I think it was within 15 minutes of me seeing the ad. I messaged the guy and told him I would come pick it up the very next day, and sure enough, that's exactly what happened. So I guess everything does work out for a reason. And I don't know, it's with me now, so I'm just going to do some minor things to it, just kind of personalize it, make it mine, quieten it down for sure. I may take a dedicated exhaust video of the exhaust on it right now, just to do it before and after, because I'm telling you guys right now, factory aged pipe catless with the Roush Axleback is probably the worst sounding exhaust you can do to a Coyote. And I feel in that stereotype of terrible sounding straight pipe Coyotes, and I've always hated that. Every time I've ever heard of a straight pipe Coyote go down the road, my ears bleed. So I'm that stereotype right now, which hopefully that will be fixed soon if I can find an exhaust shop that will get me in ASAP. So yeah, anyways, that's the rundown of my newest purchase. And as always, I do a channel update with every new car that I buy to give you guys a walk around and a little in-depth tour of the car inside and out and modifications done to it. So anyways, thanks for watching and stay tuned for more.